Yeah, we're gonna need to do something about that. Yeah, alright. Not perfect by any means, but definitely better. I'll keep working on it. Alright, so I received something today from Sirius Archery Products. This is not an unboxing video. I've already opened this to make sure everything was there. And to just kind of wrap my mind around what we're going to be doing here. But inside of here is going to be 2 test kits. One is going to be for my wife, for her Matthews image. The other is going to be for me out of my Matthews VXR that you guys saw in my bow tuning video. Basically what we're doing is these are the Ranch Fairy test kits. You basically get, let me just show you. There's some extra stuff that I ordered, and then it looks like they gave me a free koozie and stuff. We won't worry about the extra stuff that I ordered. So we will set that stuff out of the way. This is what comes with your kit, okay? So we've got some carbon here. So I can get into this. Normally having a knife on me, I don't know where it's at right now. Thank God I'm strong enough to rip plastic. We made it through that. So we got 400 spine. I ordered Sirius Orions. We like shooting the micro diameter arrows, and I've been really pleased with these. So we've got a 400 spine. We've got a 350. These are both my wife's. We should have 2 each of those. Yep, here's our other 400. And there's the other 350 right there. Okay. And then I'm going to have 2 250s and 2 200 spine arrows. The reason that I went with these arrow weights is because we're going to be shooting total, the broadheads that we're going to be using around 200 grains. Mine are 225, and then I'm using about another 150 grains of insert weight, so I'm going to have like 350 up at the front. I only have a 27.5 inch draw, but I am pulling 75 pounds with my bow. So I wanted to make sure that I had plenty of spine. And with my wife's point weight, I feel like these will probably get us pretty close to in the neighborhood for being the realm of possibility as to what we'll actually wind up shooting. But we also got two packs. We went with the Extreme FOC, primarily just because it comes with the kit. I actually already had the points that I was planning on using. I built them with the inserts, and we'll be putting them on the front of these, but it's nice to have some extras on hand, so I'll add those to my collection. And then you also get nocks, and you get your inserts. So these inserts that they send you are Ethics Archery. I've been really happy with them. You get, I believe, if I remember correctly, yeah, these are the aluminum posts. I can tell by the number of notches in them. They're a break off. I wouldn't recommend breaking them because you'll probably bend them. I'd take a Dremel at them and cut them off if we're going to be cutting them, but we're actually not going to be using these at all. Because I know what inserts I'm going to be using, and so what I did, Sirius also has these on their website, but I ordered the stainless steel combinations. So for both, these are going to be for my wife, obviously. They're going to be the stainless steel inserts with the aluminum sleeves, and then for me it's stainless steel and stainless steel. Basically what we're going to be doing is we're going to find the wobble end on one of these. I'm not going to cut them to any specific length. What we're going to be doing is actually more of like a traditional archery style of arrow tuning. I'm going to start with pretty much near to a full length carbon. I'm going to install the inserts and stuff like that. I'm going to see where the wobbly end is and probably end up shaving a few inches off of that. But I'm going to, because the JB weld that I use takes a while to set up. Don't use quick stuff. It doesn't stick nearly as well. I have actually had it pull out before when using quick epoxies. So I just make sure that once they're in there, they're in there. What we're going to be doing though is I'm gonna pick a real good straight end. I'm going to cut off all the worst wobble basically on these, and I'm going to install tonight the insert weight that I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using these right here. and get these arrows basically built and ready to go. So tomorrow we can move forward with the testing, but we're going to be shooting these as a bareshaft and be reading them through paper or into a target. And what I'm going to be doing is maybe taking like a 1/4 of an inch off the back end of the carbon a little bit at a time until I get as close to a perfect bullet hole as possible. And whatever length I wind up with is what I'm going to shoot. I don't care if it's 3 inches beyond the riser. Yes, I know it's going to decrease my FOC to have a really long arrow, but the cool thing about that is that's why we have two different carbons here. So I have 200 and 250s. Oh, that's a 350. At 200 and 250, it kind of gives you twice the opportunity to find what's going to work best for you. I'll actually end up running the numbers, and if I end up getting more FOC out of a higher GPI 200 spine versus a slightly shorter, slightly less GPI 250 spine, that's probably what I'll wind up doing, or however I said that, you get the picture. The ultimate thing is to make sure that we're having like the most efficient spine for the arrow or for the bow that we're going to be shooting, because Dr. Ashby's first factor for arrow flight, or for arrow penetration, excuse me, it's been a really long day. I'm doing this in the evening after working and stuff, but his first factor is structural integrity. I know because I'm using really good components that I've had a lot of luck and a lot of success with, and I'm building these basically with JB Weld. I know the structural integrity is going to be there, but the second factor, which is more important than the other factors below it, obviously that's why it's number 2 on the list, is perfect arrow flight, and that's what we're here to achieve. The only way that we can do that is, that's why we tuned my bow up here on the wall, to get everything completely dialed in, true, perfect. I know my bow is square, and so now we're going to find out which arrow shoots the best from it. Typically what you would do with this Ranch Fairy test kit is you can order from Sirius whatever length carbon you want. This is the other way of doing it. Maybe say you don't know what broadhead you want to use, but you don't own an arrow saw or a Dremel and an arrow squaring tool, because if you use a Dremel, you're going to need an arrow squaring tool to square things up. But you can order your carbon at whatever length you want it to be. Sirius will cut it for you. They have options for like spine aligning and hand squaring, all that kind of stuff. They'll literally get your carbon as perfect as possible. And they will even install the inserts for you if you choose for them to do it. And then all you have to do is just open up this pack of field points here and play with the different points. Read it through paper and see which one gives you the best arrow flight. When you found it, congratulations. That's what you're going to be at. For me, because I know I want to build technically an 11 factor arrow because I'm not using tapered shafts. I want that 3-to-1 cut ratio. I want all the structural integrity I possibly can get. I've chosen for elk this year, for my wife and I both, to shoot tough head. They're traditional 3-in-1 shaped ones. I'll show those to you guys here a little later on. And so the only way that I can achieve perfect arrow flight out of my bow, yes, I could tune my bow essentially to whatever arrow length that I want to shoot. But technically I'm not shooting straight through the center of the riser by doing that. If I have to move the arrow rest out of the way, or twist, cables up, which I don't do on my VXR anyway. I have a top hat system, but I know that my cam lean and stuff like that is perfect. You guys saw that on the video. So I think because I know what broadhead I'm going to use, we're just going to do it like they did before compounds were a thing. We're just going to play with arrow length until we get the perfect bullet hole through paper. So I'm going to show you guys the process. We're going to put these on here. We're going to get them spinning. I'm probably going to cut some carbon and stuff like that. And then I'm going to get these set up with some JB Weld in them tonight. And we will be ready for testing tomorrow. Alright, so here we go. Let's go ahead and get the arrow spinner. I just have this, I don't even remember who makes it, to be perfectly honest, but just this pretty basic little arrow spinner. I want to say it maybe cost me like 15 or 20 bucks, something like that. It does the job when you realize all you need it to do is just literally spin a piece of carbon. That's all that matters. So we'll start here with my wife's 400 spine. I've kind of set up this piece of paper to just kind of read some of the wobble on it, to kind of show you guys on camera. And these shafts, they come 6/1000ths of an inch straightness, and I'm actually really impressed because this is the first one that I span, and it's literally like glass. Let me show you guys. All right, here we go. There's like no wobble on that side at all whatsoever. It's just the smallest amount there. I've seen that in a lot of like the .001, 003 shafts that I've used before, so that one's really, really good. We can cut from either end on that one. This is going to be a 250. And just a small amount of wobble there. And that is like glass. So we can cut either end on that one. I'm liking this so far. Okay, we got a little wobble there. Nothing crazy, like probably 3/1000ths of an inch straightness. I'm actually looking to see, yeah, these Sirius doesn't brand them with the 001 or anything like that on them, but that's really, really good. I'm actually kind of surprised because they say on their website they send you, this one's perfect too. They say on the website that they send you 6/1000ths of an inch tolerance. Oh, that one was my fault. Excuse me. Let me get this set up on here. I mean, you can see they spin so true. Alright, so we got a little bit of a change of venue out here on my trash can because this thing makes dust. But I know I'm not going to shoot a 32-inch length carbon, and I know my wife is not going to shoot a 32-inch length carbon. I've done some math to kind of figure out where's a good starting point. I know these are still going to be a little long. I'm going to cut my 200 and 250 spines to 30 inches, and then we will run this in another 2 inches, and we'll start my wife at 28. For her carbon, but I'm going to have her over here to help me hold the camera so I can show you the way that you should be cutting your carbon. Here she is. It's my wife, Kirsten.
Hi.
You want to go ahead and hold this and just kind of show them what I'm doing here. This is the business end. So the way that you should be cutting carbon, you won't probably be able to hear me when I turn this on, but you don't want to just ram it in there. It can cause things to be a little off. You've seen countless videos, but you're going to kind of want to roll it like so. So let's go ahead and do that. excuse me, is these are the Tough Head 225 grain broadheads that I'm going to be shooting elk with this year. They look a little funny because I put Eagle Tears blade guard on them, but I have sharpened, honed, and stropped these. So what we need to do is we're going to take this broadhead here because I've already put them together with the direct bond adapter, and we're also going to take the sleeve. I remember right, it's around 372 grains. All right, so yep, 392 with the sleeve. So what I'm going to do, my total point plus insert weight is going to be 392. That's going to kind of be what we shoot for. I mean, just for video's sake, so people don't hate on me in the comments, I'll write the 0.6 on there as well. So this is for my setup. That's why I wrote it under me. This is going to be the weight that we're shooting for to put on the front ends of these. So I'm going to set this out of the way. My wife's broadheads, I have not yet put the adapters in them. I'll be doing that tonight. Maybe I'll show you guys that process. So we have to take her broadhead and set it on there. These are going to be the 190 grain meat heads. And then we have to take, I ordered these from Ethics Archery. Really, really good company, easy to work with. And they stand behind their products. So these are going to be the aluminum inserts, which I only went with aluminum for her to kind of help stiffen things up a little bit marginally, just by having a bunch of extra length in there if needed. But I do also have the stainless steel ones that I can cut down. But these are between 50 and 70 grains, depending upon where you break them off at. And I kind of wanted her to be around that 70 mark in the front with those, just to kind of shoot for realistic total arrow weight for her arrow. She's only pulling 47 pounds with a 25.5-inch draw. And so then we add the 20 grain insert, or sleeve, excuse me. And so her total front end weight, it looks like that's probably pushing on there a little bit. Let me do this. Stay. Okay, cool. It didn't change a damn thing. All right. 278.1. She is going to have some high FOC. I'm going to love it. Okay, so now we have what we're shooting for. So we will get on to the next step. All right, so not really a whole lot super special going on here. Just got a Dremel set up, and we're gonna cut some length off this. I want to say each one of these marks is like 10 grains. So obviously if we go to there, it'll be close, but it'll be too much. So I'm probably just gonna cut just before that mark. I don't know, maybe we'll speed this up if I can figure out how to do it so you guys don't have to watch. I know because I've done this before, it takes some time. So man, this is going to be a challenge to work around here. Pro tip, go ahead and put yourself a field point in there, because the heat will transfer up. This sleeve obviously is not making contact with this really, except for all the way at the tip, so kind of allows you to not get hot fingers. But let's go ahead and get it going. This is where Chris loses a finger trying to work around a tripod with a Dremel. I run chainsaws for a living, so hopefully I don't kill myself with a Dremel. That'd be kind of embarrassing. Hopefully Troy doesn't have to put a warning graphic content disclaimer at the front. I'm going to cut from above because I know it won't be as good of a view for you guys, but it feels a lot safer to me. There we go. Should have just done that the first time. That was actually kind of quicker. So let's see what weight we got now. So our target weight, if you guys will remember, was 278.1 grains. And let's see what we got. Ooh, she's a little spicy. All right. Sweet. So 278.9. What I'm going to do is just kind of round the back end of this off. Don't think I need to show that to you guys. I'll just show you when it's done. All right, so I think I got things about where I want them. Keep in mind, these first two, you can see the difference. They've got the aluminum sleeve. Those are my wife's. This is going to be the 400. This is a 350. This is going to be my 250 and then my 200. So for my wife, we're shooting for 278.1 grains. And stay on there. Nailed that one. Perfect. Okay, so we know that's good. $278.2, good enough. My wife and I both are going to be shooting these at practical hunting distances. I can get 85 yards with my 691 grain arrow. I won't be shooting 80, 85, 90 yards. So, excuse me, for me I was going for 392.6. It's written down here on the paper there to the left. I bumped that around a little bit, but whatever. 392.4 is good enough. This is the 250 and then my 200 spine setup. Quit rolling around on me here. And 392.8. Like I was saying, practical hunting distances for me, even though, yes, I do have the capability of shooting 80, 90 yards, whatever, with this arrow, for me, I enjoy stalking in on them. I addressed that earlier on in a previous video. I enjoy the challenge of being able to get in on them. So for me, at those yardages, my level as an archer is not good enough. Even at 200 yards would I really notice a difference, and those couple extra tenths of a grain. I'm just human that likes shooting his bow and hunting animals. So now that you've seen we've got the weights where we want them, let's go ahead and get set up. I will get all of this nonsense here. Go ahead and back out. You can't really see, but all of this nonsense cleaned up, and we will get some inserts put in there. Alrighty, now to the fun part. Got everything pulled out I think that I'll need. So this is what I like using. You can see it's 4 to 6 hour cure time, but completely done in 24 or whatever. I've found, yes, of course you want to try to get equal parts, but it hardly ever happens that way. As long as you're pretty close, you're good. That's definitely more than I'll need. Make sure that you don't put the gray cap in the black cap side and vice versa, because, well, just ask me how I know. We're going to mix this up. It should be like kind of a nice even gray color, kind of like a slate. And I didn't show it on camera because I forgot, because I don't do this every day, but I did clean out the inside of the carbon and the outside with a little bit of acetone. I know you guys didn't see it on camera. Just trust that it's there. I don't need some armchair expert telling me I didn't do something that I did. But we're going to start here with the, well, let's just start with the 400. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to insert these kind of like what we have here. And then I'm going to spin them and I'm going to look for wobble. And all we really kind of need to do is just kind of play with it a little bit, spin it. And you'll eventually get to see, I got it perfect already. Just basically spin it till it spins like glass, and when we get it there, we're just going to leave it there. So the way that you install these, or at least the way that I do it, because you got two parts here, right? So you have your insert, which I hope that you know that goes on the inside, okay? And this is the sleeve that goes on the outside. This will not actually hold itself on there. It will, I guess if you put something in front of it, it won't slide off, but we're after structural integrity. So I glue or JB weld these on the inside, and then I JB weld these on the outside. That way I know they cannot go anywhere. So let's go ahead and get us a nice dollop of this stuff. And I'm not like, let's be real here, I'm not super critical about getting like the perfect amount of JB weld on there. You know, I do weigh all of my components individually when I build my arrows. They're all within like a grain of each other. You know, that's perfect for me. I don't need to weigh glue, but you basically just kind of want to make sure you're getting most of it kind of in those ribs, because that's where you're going to get most of your strength from when it bonds itself in there. And so what I like to do is just kind of get things going here a little bit. Just give it a little spin. The tolerances on these things are so good. They're like tight, and hold on, there we go. Now we got her going. I was introducing it incorrectly. But I like to kind of spin back and forth, and you'll kind of be working it around as you see, right? Like I said, the tolerances on these things are really, really tight, which has been fantastic. It makes it so when you're trying to spin test everything, it just makes it that much easier to just know that you're good to go. And it looks like I did forget something. I forgot a paper towel, because we are going to need that. Let me go ahead and get this butted up against there. For now, I'll just wipe that off. I'm gonna go grab a towel. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back with some paper towel. I knew I was gonna forget something. And so all I'm gonna do is just, we're gonna be putting more on the end of there anyway. So it doesn't really like super matter a whole lot. It's not really that critical. But if a guy wanted to, he could put his field point in there, and he could spin test that and make sure that that insert is where you kind of want it to be. I've just done this enough that I kind of have the system that I like to use. So I'm going to set this up here out of the way, and I'm going to take some more of this JB weld, and don't get it in the threads, okay? I mean, you can, just whatever you put in there is going to be there forever. And then I just kind of work a little bit of it down the shaft. And we're just going to put a little bit of that on there. Okay, probably way too much, but the rest of it will work its way off there. And same thing as we did before. I just kind of like to give it some spins while I'm kind of working it back and forth a little bit. Kind of trying to get a nice even coating of this worked up underneath the outsert there and the carbon. And this is kind of where you got to be careful, because we want this to spin really, really true. Sometimes, because they make a few sizes of these sleeves for, you know, a couple different spines. You know, so for example, one of these sleeves will fit perfectly on like a 350. But it'll be a little bit loose on a 400, which is probably going to be what happens here. You just want to make sure you're not knocking that around really a whole lot. But you just kind of clean them up. I like to push it and make sure she's all the way seated on there. And then All we're going to do now is just thread the field point back in there. And we're going to get it kind of as tight as we can. Now the whole kit and caboodle here is spinning, right? So let's go ahead and set it on the spinner. That's pretty close, but we can do better. So we're going to spin. That's worse. Spin. Okay. Looks like that end's a little bit high, so I think we'll just spin it that direction. We are so close, it's not even funny. Just a little bit more. Let me hold this thing straight. That's what we're looking for right there. Perfect. That's done. So I take these and I just set them up over here out of the corner. I know you guys can't see that, but I just lean them here in the corner. They're going to be fine. Obviously, point weight down. All right, welcome back. What we're going to do today is if you guys recall from yesterday, we got all of our inserts and stuff put on there. I'm just going to show you. Things are nice and good. The JB Weld did its trick. We are good to go. And so now we're going to start the process for finding the right carbon length. This is my wife's. This is a 350. It's not focusing, but you'll get the point. What we're going to do is, so obviously indexing your spine of your arrow, pretty important for repeatability. I'm going to show you guys a little bit of a shortcut, but basically, if you look down the inside of the carbon, I'm hoping, maybe if I hold my hand like this, oh yeah, that should work. You can actually see the spine of the arrow, but you do need a pretty bright light to do it. So this is going to be washed out and stuff for right now, but I am going to turn it slowly. Okay, I found it. And you guys can see it right there. So you see that near where my middle finger is, that line? I'm holding this flashlight with my chin, but hold on, let me take that out of there. That line that's there, that was on this side of the carbon, okay? That's gonna be your spine. So that's where the carbon was rolled together and fused. So all I'm gonna do this with all 4 of these arrows. Gonna find where that spine is. I'm gonna make that mark. Sometimes the spine does kind of spiral down a little bit. We'll be able to see that as we're kind of cutting that off. But each time you do this, to index your nock correctly, that's gonna be a pretty good starting point. It doesn't matter if you have it pointed up, pointed down, left, right, just as long as they're all the same. When you build your arrows, start there when you start trying to actually shoot them, and then do whatever nock tuning you need to do from that as a starting point. It's pretty rare I've had to turn a nock outside of that alignment when I have done them all that way, but it does happen occasionally, and it means just if you do have to do any nock tuning, it's usually pretty minimal. But I wanted to show that to you. I'm going to get these all basically figured out where that spine is, get them marked, and we will install nocks.